Hi, I'm John Orlando, and I'm going to show you how to create an ePortfolio in Google Sites. Now, Google Sites is simply Google's app that allows you to set up a web page. And of course, you can set up a web page for a variety of purposes. I'll give you some examples here. This web page I set up for our Faculty Resource Center. And you see it has quite a bit of content. You have navigation across the top. You have announcements and things on the left-hand side. You have a video that introduces the Faculty Resource Center. And here we have a weekly article that we put up. Now, this is actually very easy to create because we used a template. Let me show you. This is a template that was created by another teacher. When people create templates, they share them. Then all you have to do is pick a template and put in your own content. Notice how it looks very, very similar to what we just saw. I just grabbed this template, rearranged the content a little bit, used my own content, and we were ready to go. So that, I think, is the best way to create a site, to start with a template. You can start from scratch, but I think that there's just so many beautiful, really attractive templates out there that you might as well start with one. You can also create a site when you're doing a presentation. This is a companion to a workshop I did a couple years ago. So when people are done with the workshop, you can give them a link to it and they can continue to use the material, even continue to communicate with you. So it's a really nice way of extending the benefit of the workshop and the communication with the attendees beyond simply the event where you hosted it. One more example. This is simply my web page I created for consulting purposes. I actually haven't updated it recently, and it's not the best looking, frankly, but you can use it to basically publish your own work or host some kind of a business, like a consulting business on it. So when you create an ePortfolio, you're simply going to come up to create, and you're going to be given the option of just starting with a blank template or browsing the gallery for templates. And let's do that. You can browse by category here, but let's just put portfolio in and see what happens. And here you see a bunch of template portfolios. You can scroll down, educator portfolio, student ePortfolio template, pretty self-explanatory. I'll take a look at different types here. Let's take a look at this one. Okay, this one looks okay. So I'll just click select. And that's now my template. I'm going to give a name to my site. Notice it will use the site name to build the URL, which is kind of nice. The URL will be sites.google.com site again, and then whatever the title of your site is will actually be after the slash. Next, I'm going to choose a theme, and we have a variety of themes to choose from, as you can see, probably at least 100. I'll just go with Slate. Finally, lower down, we have more options. We have a site description, so I'm going to say, this is John's portfolio. I'm sure I'd use a little bit more robust description than that, but we'll just use that to start with. And then we'll click Create. And it could take a minute to create depending on how quick your internet access is and how busy Google is, I suppose. So here we go. You see it used the portfolio. It used the template that I decided to use, the background colors, and created the starting point. Now, in looking at this, the first thing I noticed is, boy, that slate didn't really work so well, did it? So at this point, I'm going to make some modifications to the site as a whole. I'm going to come up to this drop-down menu under More Actions. I'm going to slide down to Manage Site. And here you have a variety of things you can do. Add to the description and other things as well. I'm going to start by going down to Themes, Colors, and Fonts. And I can change any one of those. I can change the fonts I'm using. I can change colors, images, image size, whatever. I'll come to theme here. I used Slate before. That didn't seem to work so well. So let's see what else we have here. How about ship shape? How does that look? Okay, that's kind of an interesting look, though I'm not so sure I'm a fan of the clouds there. Let's try another one. Sunset. I'd always wanted to live in San Diego. Okay, it's better, but I'm not sure that's my favorite. Desert panel. Not bad. That's more me. Let's just stick with that for now. And of course, I can always change it later. I'll click Save. And now when I go back to my site, you can see that it looks like that. Second thing I'm going to do is set the permissions. So again, I'll go to Manage Site, and I'll go to Sharing and Permissions. Here as a teacher, you can set up the Google accounts for your students if they don't have one, and essentially set up the basics of the site and then share it with your student. Or you can have the student set up the sites and share them with you. The person who sets up the site by default is the owner. Here you see. Notice right now, public on the web, anyone on the internet can find and view. Find and view means that they can find it in a search and then of course see it. Another option is to say anyone with a link can see it, but it won't show up on a search. Or you can just say, I'm only going to share it with specific people. Now, if you're concerned about outside people seeing the sites as the students are setting them up, you might want to start with that. Then, let's say as an instructor, you set up the site, you simply share it with the student who's setting it up and no one else can see it. Once it's ready to be published, then you would put it either public on the web or anyone with a link can see it but not searchable. Note that the way to invite people to become collaborators or viewers of the site is down this invite people drop down. By making them editors, then they can change anything in the site. You can make them an owner, which adds some functions like being able to delete the site as a whole and then just being able to view it. We'll go back to the page. And there's a couple other things you're going to need to know how to do. One is change the content on a page. All you do is come up to this little pencil here, click Edit Page, and now I can start changing the content. About Me on the home page will be About Me, John Orlando. All I did is I changed the name, simple as that. And of course I would change all the other content. I'd change the photo and everything else. I can add text boxes, I can add photos and things like that, but it's easy to just start with the layout that you've been given. And the same with any of the art pages. So once you've made changes to a page, just hit save. The only other thing you're going to need to know is how to change the site layout as a whole. So you go down to Edit Site Layout, click that. Now what it's going to allow you to do is change things like the header, or the navigation, or the sidebar. So to simply change the things that are consistent on each page. When you go to each page, you're going to get the same header, same sidebar. This particular function allows you to change those items. Put a different photo in, put different colors in, put more content in, like announcements or anything else. And with that, you can set up an ePortfolio for your students or have them set them up themselves. Thank you.